Hey guys, what is up? This is Paul, and today we're going to be playing some more Terraria. And in this Terraria video, I'm going to be showing you the top 5 best pre-Moonlord weapons. So, at my number 5 spot has to be given to the Influx Waver. Now, the Influx Waver is a very good weapon, and I'll tell you why. These beams don't look like much, they just kind of look like the Terra Blade, you know? Maybe an upgraded version of the Terra Blade. But what they do is if they hit something that has more health than the damage that they do, it will go back and hit twice more. It's really quite overpowered, and it's a really good weapon. You get this quite easily. You just have to kill the Martian Saucers in the Martian Madness event. It's really easy to get and does loads of damage. As you can see, that was like 190. Get wrecked. But yeah, that's number 5. In my number 4 spot has to be given to the Eye of Cthulhu Yo-Yo. The Eye of Cthulhu Yo-Yo, as you guys know, I've been farming this out. I told you guys on the Solar Eclipse episode, and I actually got it in that episode, so I was so happy about that. The Eye of Cthulhu, especially the godly one, which just is amazing. It was 137 damage with my layout, which is actually mana layout. I have Spectre armor on. But you know, it still does so much damage. I'm still using a few melee weapons with my mana set because it just still works. You know, the weapon does a lot of damage, and if you have Chlorify armor and my build that I have right now, this thing can do like 200. It's like 177 damage or something like that, and can do over 300 crit. I think I've had 400 crit before, and has 30% crit strike chance, which is crazy. Now, this thing is a really, really, really good weapon. The next, in the number 3 spot, has to be given to the Solar Eruption. Now, the Solar Eruption has a special ability because it can go through walls and does damage through walls, and it's amazing. It's great for cheesing Martian Madness, where you just sit under here, and you know, you just kind of kill things, you know. It's quite easy to use. It does so much damage, you can get crazy damage a second with it. And just do amazing damage with it. So that's why that's in my number 3 spot. At number 2 spot has to be given to the Phantasm Bow. Now the Phantasm Bow, with my loadout, obviously, is really bad loadout for the Phantasm though, has 52 damage, but look, it speeds up and has a 66% chance not to consume ammo. Put on top of this, now has an 86% chance not to consume ammo, and pretty much never consumes any ammo. That's why the ammo box is amazing. You can get that from the Traveling Merchant, by the way. And using Chlorify arrows with this thing is crazy, but yeah, Chlorify arrows, if anything, is pretty crazy. But anyway, the Phantasm speeds up, and when it hits an enemy, I want to show you this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but try and show you on something. But if you hit something, it will turn into a crazy arrow that has like 1,000,000 velocity. Yeah, this my Stardust Dragon's going to do too much work. As you can see, you see there? There's silver bullets that come out of it, the silver arrows. Yeah, they're what's doing a lot of damage. And that is completely crazy. Now, before I come to my number 1 spot, I have to give a couple of honourable mentions. First honourable mention is the Nebula Blaze. Is a lock-on weapon and explodes on impact. My layout gives it 117 damage. That is absolutely mental. Now, each time you use it, it takes 18 mana with my layout, and it's just a very crazy weapon. I mean, it does so much damage. You can get up to easily over 1,000 damage a second on a load of people, and easily over about 600 damage on single target. But just look at that damage, man. Just from about 3 enemies, you got 600 damage a second right there. That is a crazy amount of damage. The only reason why this doesn't make a spot, and it only makes the number 6 spot, is because it only has, well, you know, it just takes so much mana away. As you can see the lock on that. So much damage. That's almost 600 damage from that. The next honourable mention that I have to give is going to have to be the Razorblade Typhoon. Now, the Razorblade Typhoon, guys, is the earliest weapon in this list, and the Razor Blade Typhoon is crazy. With my loadout, 47 magic damage, you can easily get up to about, I think, 100 if you have the Nebula armor. Uh, this thing could do so much damage, and the healing is crazy, and it has lock on, and it's amazing, and it just look what it does. It shoots 2 at a time. I don't know if that's a glitch. I'm pretty sure it isn't though. It's a crazy weapon with lock on. It will hit about, I don't know, 5 times, but just look at what it does. I mean, that's crazy, more than 5 times. I'm gonna get some pretty good damage with this thing. This has to have my number 7 spot because, again, it kind of drains your mana. It doesn't take too much mana every time you use it. It's only 16, but you do cast 2. That is one good thing about it. But, you know, it has to take my number 7 spot. It doesn't do as much damage as the others either, but it is a crazy good weapon. Now, I think you guys know what this spot's going to go to because I'm using it right now. It's a mana weapon, guys, but it is also obviously summoning damage. Is the Stardust Dragon Staff. This, in my opinion, is the best Moonlord weapon. It's absolutely mentally crazy. I love it. It's mental. Does so much damage, and yeah, just have a look at this. You know, we can solo kill stuff with this thing. This thing can do a lot of damage. Though with Tiki armor, with Stardust armor, whatever, you can get this thing to be so long and do so much damage. And that is just why I love it. This thing can do so much damage. You can over 1,000 damage a second, just as this little guy. It will carry on hitting things. It's all over the place all the time. Now, I just wanted to show you one of the worst weapons ever that I think I use at the moment. It's probably the Toxic Flask. The Toxic Flask isn't actually an okay weapon, but it's probably the worst that I use. 30 mana. Look how much mana that is. I mean, I can't use many, then I have to put up with mana potions again. The only thing is about this weapon is it does do quite a lot of damage. I just wanted to tell you about that. I do use the Toxic Flask, and the Neighbours is probably the worst weapon in my loadout. Still though, I'd call it a pretty good weapon, one of my favourite weapons. Hi guys, so we are here with the damage a second looks. So at the number 5 spot was obviously the Influx Wave. We're going to see how much damage we can do. So this is multi-target. Now we don't actually get the effect of our of our cool thing, our beam. But as you can see, if we're getting multi-target damage, you can hit people behind you as well. Just about. No, you can't actually. But we're doing around 1,000 damage a second. Yeah. We're not going to be able to test the Stardust Dragon easily, so we're not going to test him, but it looks like we're doing around 1,400 damage a second, getting up to 1,500, as you can see when the Stardust Dragon kind of interferes there. But let's see what he does on single target. So with the beam, he can do pretty good damage, but mixing them together, you can do some crazy damage. 600, getting up to 700. That's about an average of 650 damage, getting down to 500s. Obviously, in our number 4 spot was the Eye of Cthulhu Yo-Yo. You know, I actually really can't remember what order they're in, so I just know which ones they were. So we're just gonna kind of just do them in no particular order. So with the Eye of Cthulhu Yo-Yo, multi-target. I'm gonna go underneath for this. You can see you can do a lot of damage. It's crazy how much damage you can do with this guy. You can see that's how much damage we're doing. 1,200, sometimes 1,300s. It's a lot of damage, and I'm not even using the best sets. So you know, this is kind of just a preview for you guys. Single target. You can get around it and just do this, and this is how much damage you'll do. 700. And it just climbs up, kinda. As you can see, 1,000 damage a second, single target. That is crazy amazing. Now, obviously, we have the Solar Eruption next. Let's see single target damage first. That is a crazy single target damage right there. Almost 1,000 damage a second, guys. We're averaging about 1,000 damage a second. Now this is where it's gonna get crazy. Yeah. That's a lot of damage a second. That's over 4,000, 5,000 damage a second. That's just a lot of damage. I mean a lot. We can do up to 5,000. Like we're kind of nearing around. Our average is about 4,300 damage, I'd say. Damage a second, as you can see on the DPS meter at the side. But that is really quite crazy. And then it sets them on fire, and you do loads of damage afterwards. So, you know, though, that's pretty crazy. YOLO, YOLO. Anyway, the next, obviously, was our Phantasm, though. So, let's see. So multi-target, you can do a lot of damage. Now, sadly, it doesn't have its ability thing, but we can still see how much damage it's doing. It will go through with chlorophyll arrows. Quite nice there. 2,000 damage a second. Well, I'm taking that. We're averaging about 2,050 damage a second. That's a lot of damage right there. Single target. Wonder how well this will do. It isn't very good with single target, and the chlorophyll bullets are kind of bouncing back and forth. But single target, you're still doing about 800 damage. So that's very good. And obviously the bounce back bullets are going to make it do it even more. Now, the sad thing is, it's going to be very hard to test out this guy here on these target dummies. So we can't actually. But I can give you a little round off. A single target will be about 800, I think, damage a second. And on multi-target, you'll get around 2,000 damage a second, something around that if you're lucky. You know, he just hit some there, you know. But we're going to go to our honourable mentions now. The Nebula Blaze on multiple enemies, multi-target. Now, it doesn't actually lock on the target dummies, but you'll still get the idea of how much damage this thing does. It's actually amazingly crazy. Look at this. I mean, I'm using my mana potions right now, but I don't have a mana flower. I don't have the most desirable layout ever, but you know, this does so much damage. It's not the best multi-target. It's better at a single target, because look how much damage this can do. I mean, it's very inaccurate because it should lock on anyway. But if we go right up to this person, or to this target dummy, you can do up to 1,000 damage a second, single target. That is crazy, and it has splash damage. I forgot to say. So now we're going to the next honourable mention, the Razorblade Typhoon. As I say, we'll not lock on, but we can still show you how much damage this does. That's crazy. Just look how much damage that's doing. That's even better than our Nebula. And yeah, that's crazy. Single target won't do as good, but the lock-on effect actually does a lot better. See, we're only doing about 100 damage a second. Yeah, you know, that's not amazing. I can show you the Toxic Flask too. The Toxic Flask, you know, actually does quite a lot of damage a second, as you can see. But you can't chuck many, so it's not actually very good at doing damage a second. It's not, you know, kind of typical damage a second thing. But that can do quite a lot. But as I say, target dummies have very little defense. Let's see how much you can do to a single target, shall we? So it does quite well against single targets, surprisingly, getting about 350. But that was a little bit of a preview for you, just to show you how much damage these things can do. Sadly, I can't show you the Stardust Dragon, but it does do 1,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 quadrillion damage. It does a lot of damage, let's just say that. But yeah, very, very good weapon, the Stardust Dragon Staff. Took our #1 spot, but it is that's why. I mean, you could probably believe me now, because I gave it a #1 spot. But as you can see, it's just doing loads of damage. So I'm gonna give Big, the best weapons in 1.3, mana, ranged, melee, and yo-yo, and also summoner. All of those will be coming out, but I'm just gonna have to get things first to be able to do them, so it's gonna be a little harder. I think the thing in this list that does the most damage, multi-target, is this because of how. Just look at the amount of damage. 6,000 damage a second. Single target still doing a lot. You know, solar eruption does only take the number 3. I think it was number 4, wasn't it? But still packs. No, it's number 3. It still packs a crazy punch, as you can see there, without even warrior gear. I can show you how much damage this thing does with warrior gear. I've never used it with warrior gear. I bet we'll get up 10,000 damage here. Let's just try and find my warrior gear, shall we? Warrior gear, warrior gear. Where are you, warrior gear? Where's my chlorophyte armor? Just find that now. Right, chlorophyte armor. You can see some of these chests. Right, yep, here. So let's swap out our Spectre armor for this, and just see how much we can really do, how much punch we can do with this thing. This thing does the most damage, but I don't think it's the most efficient, because it's very weird to control sometimes. That's why I sometimes don't like to use it. We're actually getting a load of defense, but this thing went from 107 damage to 131 with no reforge, and as you can see, this does now pretty much the same amount. Actually, no, it doesn't. I take that back. We're doing just over a crazy amount of damage. As you can see, just see if we can get 10,000. I doubt we can, but we are just doing crazy amounts. If we're down here, you know, you're still gonna do crazy amounts of damage. If you're at a single target, let's see how well we're doing against that now. 2,000 damage. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. Not even a reforge on this. Also, the Eye of Cthulhu, I'll show you this with chlorophyte armor on. You know, this is going to do crazy damage. Just look at that damage. 1,000 damage a second. This is going to be crazy. Just look at that. I mean, obviously, this is not as good. I think it's better at single targets yo-yos. But still, groups is obviously going to give it more damage. Influx Waver with melee does loads of damage, and as you can see, oh my god, single target, you know, this will do so much more damage normally, but as you can see, that's so much. I really do give the Influx Waver a load of awesomeness because I think it's amazing. Anyway, let me put my Spectre armor back on, but I'll see you guys in the next video. So remember to hit that like button. You have to do that if you did enjoy the video. And also hit that subscribe button if you enjoy the content. Hit that notification bell to get notified about every video I do make. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye and have a good day. See ya.